जीतू भैया, वी आर लाइव.
Okay. Friends, very good evening to all. I, on behalf of Association of Corporate Advisors and Executive, ACAE, welcome you all to this program panel discussion on FMCG and changes in business pattern post COVID-19. We have been doing this online session, webinar session on June during the entire lockdown period, and we have tried to cover most of the topics of the professional and technical interest, even wellness and other topics. The speaker from that aspect were also brought before you. So hope you have enjoyed our session, uh, and it has helped you to keep yourself updated even while you are locked down. So today we have with us our panelist, Mr. Rudra Chatterjee, MD of Lakshmi Group, and Mr. Aditya V. Agarwal, Director of Imami Group. Welcome to you all, and I would like to thank you for accepting our invitation and joining this session. Friends, as we know that the lockdown has made a deep impact on entire industry and entire segment of business across the globe. And yes, FMCG cannot be the one which can be left out. Yes, this during this debacle, but we see a lot of opportunity, and maybe we have our two panelists and the speaker here with us who would be sharing their experience or sharing their what would be the world after this lockdown or COVID, post COVID. But from my perspective, I see that it's a huge. There would be a huge change wherein the rural India, the tapping of rural India, which was not being done to its fullest strength, maybe this can be a strength which can be used right now. And the Kirana stores, we were talking of big malls and wholesale market, big wholesale market where multinational companies were coming into core and distributing even the grocery item. But I think during this lockdown period, these Kirana stores and these small stores have saved the entire Indians to go or cope with this hard time. I mean, you find the Kirana stores and the shop in your neighborhood, which would have been impossible. We have seen in the news and media that there is a 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers line for the grocery item in America, in the big cities of America. But yes, this has saved us all from this Kirana stores has saved us all from this problems. And yes, we'll be seeing the renewed focus on health and hygiene product. Uh, Apart from, you see, there might be some luxury FMCG product which might show the reduced usage. And yes, the retailer also will, there will be a definite change in the pattern, how the retail industry, how the distributor, uh, how the other multiplayer in the FMCG industry will be affected, or whether they will do the business. So, but yes, we also know that the FMCG industry has been quite agile and has been very responsive to whatever there is whenever there has been the change in consumer behavior. So I am also very much hopeful that the any consumer behavioral changes which might come post COVID will be adopted, and will FMCG industry will be in a stronger position also. And in the stock market context also, we are seeing FMCG companies basically or specifically to hold some ground. So with this thought in mind, I would request our past president, Jinesh Banjaraji, to kindly introduce our guest speaker for today's program and start this panel discussion. So Jinesh, we are over to you.
Thank you, Jitu. Very warm welcome to Sri Aditya Vardhan Agarwal and Sri Rudra Chatterjee. My dear President Jitendra and my colleagues. Let me first introduce Sri Aditya Vardhan Agarwal. Of course, we all know him. He's a second generation entrepreneur, promoter and director of Imami Group. He's a Bachelor of Commerce from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. We are all aware that Imami Group is one of the Eastern India's leading business house, having interest ranging from cosmetics, edible oil, cement, paper, real estate, hospitals, and various other sectors. Aditya Agarwal currently heads edible oil and biodiesel unit of Imami Group. This are India's, this is one of the second largest edible oil manufacturer. He also heads Imami Cement, which was set up a few years ago and has fetched an enterprise value very recently of 5,500 crores. He also heads healthcare division of Imami Group. Aditya Vardhan Agarwal is a dynamic leader with key sense of observation, a frank and humble personality. He's very simple and modest in lifestyle. I know him. He was youngest president of Merchant Chamber of Commerce, Kolkata, and he also was president of Indian Chamber of Commerce in 2016-17. He's at present Honorary Consul of Republic of Ethiopia in Kolkata. Welcome, Sri Aditya. Thank you for having accepted this invite and spending some time with us.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you, Aditya. The second speaker for the day, Sri Rudra Chatterjee. The moment I, called him up, he was very enthusiastic and he did accept our invite. He's the managing director of Lakshmi Group and chairman of OBT. Prior to this, he was a management consultant at Booz Allen Hamilton's New York office, and he received his MBA as a Dean's List student from Columbia Business School. Lakshmi is one of the world's largest tea producers, making 30 million kg of tea from 25 estates in India and Rwanda. It includes the famous tea estate Makaibari, which they acquired in 2013. OBT, founded in 1920, is India's largest carpet company that serves global customers. Rudra is also director of Lakshmi Township. Rudra is an independent director of West Bengal Industrial Development Corporation Limited, Haldia Petro Limited, and Vishwa Bangla Marketing Corporation Limited. Apart from being a guest faculty at IMI and IIM Kolkata, he's a guest columnist in various daily newspapers and is a TEDx speaker. He was awarded Young Entrepreneur Award by Chief Minister of West Bengal in 2018. He recently received his Hurun Industry Achievement Award in 2019. He has served as president of Indian Chamber of Commerce in 2018-19 and is currently serving as chairman Eastern Region of FICCI. Welcome, Rudra, and thank you for this invite, accepting this invite, Rudra.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rudra. So we have two very young, prominent and relevant business leaders, young business leaders, I would say, from this part of the country, and we will be hearing their views not only on FMCG, but how the way of doing business is going to change according to them post-COVID. When it will be post-COVID, we don't know. We are still in the COVID era, but one day or the other, of course, things have to change. So let us know your views of even this COVID era and post-COVID. What do you foresee? So let me start the proceeding by requesting Sri Aditya Vardhan Agarwal ji to share his thoughts to begin with, please. Aditya, unmute कीजिए.
Yeah. Thank you, Vanjara Sahab, for giving me a chance to speak to your association, to your members of your association. I was not too keen on speaking, especially because of the subject, post-COVID. And as you just mentioned, ki when it will be post-COVID, none of us knows. So I always believe ki it's always better to not to act as a speculator or an astrologer कि बाद में क्या होने वाला है उसके बारे में अभी बात करें. और I also believe that all of you have read so many reports in the last few days, have read so many or heard so many experts, reports from BCG, McKinsey, or any other good firms, and so many experts कि हम कुछ भी बोले हम उतना अच्छा चीज़ सामने नहीं ला सकेंगे और ना उतनी अच्छी बातें कर पाएंगे उनसे अच्छा. But फिर भी two reasons got me here. Number one, Rudro and we shared a platform in ICC also, and I thought it will be a good I could remind him here about our due dinner. वो उनके घर पे हमारा dinner due है, so Rudra, just to remind you. And of course, आई डिड नॉट वांट टू, जैसे घर में आप लोग जानते हैं वाइफ है बच्चे हैं तो 10 मिनट लगातार बोलने का चांस नहीं मिलता है. So I did not want to miss this chance as well. So, and Imami Group has been has been associated with this association since long, and we cherish this association. So
Sir, you are
Vanjara Saab ka-
you are a part of us, sir. We have a hall by the name of Imami Hall. How can you?
thank you. You made it happen.
No, it
So
was.
I don't know if it is right to say what I am saying, but just in a lighter note कि आप लोग एडवाइजर्स हैं और हर छोटा एडवाइस का बहुत फीस चार्ज करते हैं सब लोग. आज रुद्र और हम लोग को भी कुछ मिलने वाला है क्या आप लोगों से? बस तो ध्यान रखिएगा, अगर कभी इच्छा हो तो कुछ भेज दीजिएगा.
Yes, sir.
So coming back to the subject, uh, I, as I said, post-COVID is a situation which we should all be aware of, but we should not worry about. Because I am saying not worry about, by that I mean that we should prepare for the worst, but if we are too worried, then we will not be able to give our best to the present. So our endeavor now should be to give our best to the present and prepare so that we can prepare for the worst. We must also understand that it is not the time for survival of the fittest. It is very important that all of us understand and appreciate and in fact act on it to see that it is the survival of all and it is the role of the fittest to make sure that everyone survives. See, when it comes to FMCG and post COVID, there are many aspects around this. Your president, Mr. Jitendra ji ने कुछ mention भी किया about. I will talk about that, about the rural economy, the modern format stores, the role of Kirana, etc., etc. But before that, see, for any business, whether it is FMCG or for any other business, there are a few aspects which are important. Number one, like I hear from many groups that everyone is very keen to open their plants, open their offices, and go back to work. We can, of course, we can. Nobody is stopping us now. Even the government is allowing with maybe certain restrictions and certain guidelines. But I would say beware and don't be in a hurry to start. We should not be in a hurry to start because of the following reasons basically. First, we must ensure that there is continuity of production. See, we are into, some of our businesses are into essential commodities like edible oils, like paper because we supply to newspapers and the newsprints, and also the hospitals, etc. So we are seeing, we have been almost be operating from maybe the end of March. We were shut for only maybe for a few days, though the hospital was running. Uh, so there are many issues of continuity. Number one. Number two, there are new issues every day, coming up every day. So your team and yourself will have to be very agile. They have to be very dynamic in their thought process. The decision making speed should be very high. So what I would share with you all will not be something from reports, but our experience of running our units in these last few days, and also what we are expecting in future. Like in our edible oil business, we normally do around 7,000 tons of oil every day. We are being able to do around 5,000 tons per day now. But still, in the beginning, we were facing problems of continuity of labor reaching us. Cash flow can become a big problem because if you don't have orders and if you continue, if you and since you have started your plants, you have power projects, you have already burnt your boiler, fired your boiler. So you tend to make products which may not be selling now. You just make it in anticipation that someday order will come for this, Earlier it used to come for this, so now also it will come for this. And you block your working capital in it. You should not be doing that, because you never know. Consumer preferences may be changing. Some of the industries in which you were banking upon, on which you were banking upon, may not need you now. So unnecessarily, you will be blocking your working capitals in work in progress. Even if you are able to make and if you have orders, sometimes supply chain becomes a issue. If you're able to dispatch, trucks don't reach to your customers, or you don't get enough raw material to make the second lot. So many such factors, and of course the local environment. It's very, I would say, it's it's very aggressive, and many such factors should be taken into consideration. Like continuity of sales should be there. Continuity of you must receive payments regularly. uh, Cost increases because of all the extra care you have to take. Raw material prices have also gone up in these days. You should take proper sanitization care for the people working for you, whether it is office or in factories, which leads to increased cost. And it's not easily possible also, because we feel that many such protective gears should be first reserved for the caregivers, or like the hospitals, police, maybe essential good factories, and then if there is something spare, then the non-essential goods should take it. So with the new challenge every day, new uncertainty every day, we run our plants every day, and when it comes to specifically FMCG, I personally think that there will be, like, we classify products broadly into two classifications: do good products and feel good products. Do good products are something which does something good to to your body, or or to you, like say a medicine, or maybe a Boroplus. If there is a cut on your body, you apply it, it does good to you and it heals you. Whereas the feel good product is, say for example, is a hair colorant. uh, so if you color your hair, you look good and you feel good. We feel that feel good products will take a backseat, has already taken a backseat, and will further be impacted. Do good products would continue to do well. In fact, in do good products, some sectors, especially immunity builder, may become more stronger. uh, Smaller SKUs can become important, because in times of uncertainty, we have always seen, especially of this type, we have never seen of such magnanimity. But still, whenever there is a recession or a downtrend, people tend to save, because there is uncertainty of the future. There is uncertainty of jobs. There are job cuts. There are salary cuts. There are deferments. So people tend to save money, and when they save money, they consume. They want to consume less. Even in FMCG, even in a do-good product, they would tend to buy smaller SKUs, smaller sizes. Maybe in your household, if you're buying four different soaps or four different toothpaste for four different persons in the family, you will buy one type of a toothpaste, and everyone would be using that. Similarly, the saving mindset brings in a lot of changes of buying. You don't buy on a larger packs. You don't buy on a monthly basis. You start buying on weekly basis maybe. Earlier, we were seeing a trend towards sustainable packaging, or products which people were talking or asking for, products which are more sustainable in nature, sustainable towards Mother Earth. But our personal belief is that in such times, people again go back to move out from sustainable products, because their concerns are different now. Their concerns are more towards health. Their concern is more towards immunity. Their concern is more towards uh, their upkeepment of the family. Media buying habits are changing. Media viewing habits are changing a lot. As many of you must have seen many reports that Doordarshan has become very strong suddenly. Nobody was watching Doordarshan 45 days from now. But suddenly, with the old Ramayana and Mahabharat being aired there, Doordarshan is back into action. News channels, they have the viewership have gone up. GEC channels, as we call general entertainment channels like the Star Plus, Colors, etc., etc. They have gone down a little, uh, or they are not gone up as much because their content they don't have content now. क्योंकि उनके जो शोज होते थे वो ऑलमोस्ट डेली बेसिस पे शूट होते थे और एयर होता था. विद द लॉकडाउन देयर इज नो शूटिंग हैपनिंग, तो सब पुराने शोज चला रहे हैं, तो उसमें थोड़ी सी कमी हुई है. पीपल आर वॉचिंग मूवीज, मोर मूवीज एंड एंटरटेनमेंट चैनल्स, म्यूजिक स्ट्रीमिंग हैज इंक्रीज्ड. Radio has gone down. Newspaper reading has gone too much down, and I hope that it doesn't continue for long. The newspaper reading habit, going down of the newspaper reading habit. Another aspect is the stores, basically the buying habit. Uh, while I agree 100%, but at Imami we have always been a believer, and we have always propagated and tried to make sure that because of our belief system that India is a populated country, and it is a highly populated country. Here, our dependence on Kirana store should be continuing because it gives livelihood to so many people. And if modern format stores comes and eat away their livelihood, then as a population, we could be in trouble. It's good to see that the Kirana stores, not only now during the COVID period, but earlier also, they kept on changing their format, and they gave good fight to the modern format stores. But now presently, especially, they have raised their bar, and I would say they are also one of our heroes. They are risking their lives, and they are opening their shops to make sure that the products are available for us to consume, whether it is grocery item or any other FMCG item. We see that e-commerce could grow more exponentially, uh, because of people would not like to go out to buy products, and we are already getting into a habit of ordering online. So it's an easier mode. Uh, so maybe in long term, e-commerce will gain because of this. And as far as rural economy is concerned, uh, it's not easy to reach there. It's a very costly phenomena to make your products available in the rural areas, because as you go further to any city or any town, the cost of reaching the product there increases, and it increases manifold. More so, you the sales and distribution network is highly dependent on people and a large number of people. Like any company, FMCG company may be having a distribution team of a good distribution. If you have a good distribution pan India, you will be having more than 3,000 or maybe up to 10,000 people working in the field to make sure our products are available in the outlets. So reaching the rural becomes more difficult, even with automation, and when you can track people, etc., etc. Uh, it still remains difficult. Of course, because of the cost also. Uh, I think largely I have covered most of the aspects uh, which which can bother you in due course, which can bother your clients in due course, which or the changing habits which are happening, and it will be ever changing now because nothing is for future now. We don't even know what's happening and what will happen tomorrow. With this note, I would like to hand it over back to Mr. Vanjara, and I'll be happy to answer queries if any, and hope that I'll be able to meet your expectations as far as the queries, answering the queries are concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya Bhai. It was good to hear from you. Contrary to the Charles Darwin theory of survival of the fittest, you said survival of all and role of the fittest to see that everyone survives. That's very good. And most of the seminars, I say, yes, if we have to all walk together, if you have to walk long, if you have to walk fast, you go alone. It was good to hear from you that. You spoke of do good and feel good products, right? Before I really go to Rudro, let me pose 2 or 3 questions pertaining to your industry, maybe, or FMCG. Imani is saying to a personal and healthcare sector, FMCG. Your feel good and do good makes me think that the companies who are into really do good products and will do better than the companies which are only into feel good products. So the big corporates which have a mix of the 2 types of products. So you feel that the do good. भाई हम लोग अपना खर्चा तो बाद में हाउस होल्ड एक्सपेंडिचर में go down, but जो रोज की जरूरत की चीजें वो तो we are going to use. So will there be a shift? Do you feel और वो वैसी कंपनियां जो कि खाली हाई एंड प्रोडक्ट्स या तो बनाती है या फील गुड वाली है, they are going to stop, or will there be a shift in the composition of the products? What is your?
I would not say that they will stop, because as time passes, people will again start to buy the feel good products as well. But at the same time, I am also sure that these companies would be bringing in some do good factor in their feel good products. So marketing is all about dynamism. Marketing is all about changing yourself as per the need of the consumer. Or if not so, the best marketer is who can make the consumer want what you want to sell. It's a difficult thing कि मेरे को ये चीज बेचनी है तो मैं कंज्यूमर को वही कैसे डिमांड कराऊं जबकि उसकी प्रेजेंट डिमांड वो नहीं है. So all good marketers will be able to do that. Poor marketers, those who are surviving on their heredity or on their past laurels, and if it is difficult for them to change, then it will be difficult for them to survive.
Correct, you are. Say in a medium-sized FMCG company, there's always some expenditure on research and development. There is always some expenditure in brand building, new products. Do you feel that for the next 2 years or 3 years, the companies will, really stick to the old products which are really doing good at a low cost areas, or do you think new R&D or new product development or really going into big brand products will stop for a while?
I don't think any good company, they have a pipeline of products ready for them to be launched. So because their research and development team, they work all the time and they keep the pipeline ready for future launches. Now it will be a question about priority. If the public will be demanding do good products or things which are towards health, like sanitizer, it was such a small category. It has suddenly become such a big category. So sanitizer as a product, it does not need too much of research and development. And even if it needs, if you want to have some differentiation in the product, say the perfume of the product, though it is a sanitizer, but you want the perfume to be better so that people prefers your brand, then the research and development will be able to do it faster. The present situation is such that we are not buying brands. Any of you as consumers, you are buying products now. जो प्रोडक्ट जो आप पर्टिकुलर आपको अगर टूथपेस्ट चाहिए या सोप चाहिए या ऑयल चाहिए, अगर वो आउटलेट में नहीं है तो जो वो देता है वो आप ले आते हैं और वो यूज़ करना शुरू कर देते हैं. तो इट मीन्स दैट यू आर नॉट बाइंग ब्रांड्स, यू आर नॉट कंज्यूमिंग ब्रांड्स, यू आर कंज्यूमिंग अ प्रोडक्ट, अ कैटेगरी. But slowly again, with advertisements, it will again go back to brand preferences. So as a marketer, we have to start advertising again. Otherwise, we'll become commodities. Otherwise, we'll become commodities again.
Yes. Jinesh bhai, we have one question in the chat box from Ketan Satnalia ji. He asked that whether import substitute manufacture like palm oil is better idea during this period. And one more question he has with Aditya ji, that whether joining hands with company coming out of China is good post COVID. So Aditya ji.
See, when it comes to FMCG, I will answer the second question first. चाइना से बहुत FMCG का वैसा कुछ नहीं था प्रोडक्ट्स के एज फार एज फिनिश प्रोडक्ट इज कंसर्न. हाँ, रॉ मटेरियल्स कुछ आ सकते थे बट फिनिश प्रोडक्ट इंडिया में इंडिया के ही ज़्यादा बनते हैं एज फार एज FMCG इज कंसर्न. न वहाँ से फॉर्मुलेशन आता था, न वहाँ से कोई टेक्नोलॉजी थी ज़्यादा. टेक्नोलॉजी आई मीन मशीनरी हो सकती है बट टेक्नोलॉजी मतलब कि नई चीज़ बनाने की वैसी कोई विधि नहीं आती थी. सो बट स्टिल क्योंकि इंडिया में जो नीड्स ऑफ पीपल आर दैट इज़ वेरी डिफरेंट. इट इज़ मोर टुवर्ड्स ट्रेडिशनल थिंग्स. इवन यूनिलीवर, मल्टीनेशनल लाइक यूनिलीवर, दे हैव और कोलगेट, उनको नीम वाला ही टूथपेस्ट बेचना पड़ता है. सो कंसिडरिंग दोज फ्यू सच थिंग्स, आई डोंट थिंक कि वो पॉसिबिलिटी वो ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ेगी. लेकिन फिर भी अगर कोई बहुत अच्छी वहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट चलती है और इंडिया में ज़रूरत है तो वन शुड. Coming back to this substitute manufacturing like palm oil, I did not understand. मतलब palm oil तो अभी भी इंडिया में बहुत आता है. It continues to and it will continue to, because we are a oil deficient, edible oil deficient country. And almost 50 to 60% of our edible oil is imported. And palm oil is the biggest part of it.
Jitu,
Yeah, can we unmute Rajesh Jain ji, I think, for once, and then we can start with.
Jitu, let us hear Rudro first. I think.
Okay.
So,
then we will have a question.
एक चीज मैं और बोलना चाहूंगा जो मैं मिस कर गया. एक बाइंग हैबिट्स में एक चीज जो और चेंज होने वाली है, स्पेशली किराना स्टोर और ये सब चीज के मामले में, ऑर्डर एंड पिकअप वाला सिस्टम बहुत होने वाला है आगे जाके. ऐसा लगता है लोग फोन पे ऑर्डर कर देंगे या ऐप से ऑर्डर कर देंगे या ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर कर देंगे और जाके खाली वो थैला रेडी रहेगा, लोग जाकर के पिकअप करके ले आएंगे. पेमेंट शायद ऑनलाइन कर दे या वहाँ जाके कैश कर दे. तो दिस वाज अनदर थिंग विच वी सी दैट इट इज़ ऑलरेडी हैपनिंग नाउ. आज हमारे घर से सब फ़ोन पे ऑर्डर कर देते हैं और जाकर ड्राइवर लेके आ जाता है या हम जाके उठा के लेके आ जाते हैं सिर्फ. तो जो ये हैबिट एक बार घुस जाएगी तो फिर वो कंटिन्यूटी उसकी रहेगी. सॉरी फॉर टेकिंग मोर टाइम.
This is all your ideas. We wanted to hear this. Before I really go to Rudro, let me the last job में जवाब दिया. देखिए हम लोग तो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, वी आर नॉट एज इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट. थोड़ा फी लेते हैं, उसमें भी आप लोग बोलते हैं फीस कम कर दो. दैट इज इन अ लाइटर वेन. आदित्य जी, ये हम देख रहे हैं जो अभी स्पेंडिंग पैटर्न है. आपने ये जो कहा ना पिकअप वाला किराना स्टोर, लास्ट 2 महीना से हम देख रहे हैं लोग वो कार्ड स्वाइप करके खर्चा कर रहे हैं हर जगह, विच पहले सब कैश इकोनॉमी में जाता था. तो मुझे लगता है ये स्पेंडिंग का जो पैटर्न चेंज हुआ ना, तो ये जो हमारा मोदी जी का ड्रीम था, इरेडिकेशन ऑफ ब्लैक मनी, स्पेंडिंग जो हम लोग का होता था ना बेसिक नीड्स में, या काफी रुपये चले जाते थे आई थिंक कैश में. ड्रॉइंग X रुपया और खर्चा.
सर ये जो बेसिक नीड्स में तो क्या ब्लैक मनी जाता है?
अरे आदित्य भाई, मैं हम लोग सी बीइंग प्रोफेशनल, देयर आर अदर्स ऑन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म, ड्रॉइंग्स कम, खर्चे ज्यादा. ये बेसिक आपको लगेगा कि महीना में 1 लाख 2 लाख में क्या फर्क पड़ता है, महीना में 3 लाख में क्या पड़ता है, बट वो अगर 20 लाख घराना वाले करते हैं तो 20 लाख इंटू 10,000 रुपया बहुत फर्क पड़ता है बस. मुझे लगता है ये बेसिक चीज जो है ना, ये स्पेंडिंग पैटर्न. अभी हम लोग वो जोमेटो में हम लोग वो पिज्जा मंगवाते थे, मेरा बेटा कैश में मंगवाता है, बेटी कार्ड से मंगवाती है. तो मैंने दोनों को पूछा क्यों करते हो, दोनों ने अपना, वो बेटी couldn't explain, बेटा एज यूजुअल कॉमर्स वाला, अरे कैश चला जाएगा ना. So let's be honest, ये थोड़ा खर्चा का जो पैटर्न चेंज हो रहा है, तो मुझे लगता है इसमें भी I don't know, times to come we'll see this.
चलिए देखा जाए.
That was only a
Thank you.
pointer. Rudro, can we hear your views and then we can open up further.
Absolutely. Thank you to ACAE, the presidents and the members who've joined. Firstly, I was very happy to see Aditya was speaking for this segment. Aditya was my president in Indian Chamber. And I'm used to only closing the discussion after he's giving the speech. That's how I've always seen. And Aditya, my house is, you've offered to come at an odd time. My house is always open for you, but I know at this time you can't come. As soon as the lockdown is open, I will hold you to it and ensure that you come home.
Rudra, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll just take another few seconds.
Yes.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Vanjara for letting me speak before you. क्योंकि अगर आप पहले बोल लेते तो उसके बाद मेरा कोई सुनता नहीं. Rudra is such a fine speaker. He's being very modest by saying कि he only used to give closing remarks. But closing remarks का क्या है, बाकी रेडी नहीं रहता था. हम लोगों को तो स्पीच दे दी जाती थी, हम लोग पढ़ देते थे. Closing remarks खुद को लिख के बोलना पड़ता था. So you can very well understand how difficult it is.
No, Aditya has always been an inspiration, and especially on this subject, his knowledge is very deep. So he's given a fantastic overview. My industry is not really FMCG. It is mostly tea and home furnishings. I sell to FMCG companies. But Aditya's industry is the largest FMCG company in this part of the world and the fastest growing. And he has done M&A, growth and all other aspects. And so it was great for me to hear what is happening in the industry from him. This is a significant industry. There is no doubt about it. Everything, what we call FMCG, is everything that we are consuming today. Everything else is shut. Because we need to consume to live, we are consuming FMCG. Whether it is to feel good or live on is the same thing. That is the thing that whether you're at home, whether you're traveling, whether you're at office, you will continue traveling, continue consuming. But in that respect, this industry has been spared the worst impacts. As you heard from Aditya, the sales have dropped from normal levels, but it hasn't gone to zero. Many other industries, the revenues have gone to zero. And it is important, as Aditya also said, that first livelihood, making sure people survive, making sure businesses survive, because we run businesses like family businesses, other businesses in Calcutta are friends or family. So we need to all do well to survive as an ecosystem. And this is a challenge that even 2 months ago, I was at Aditya's house having breakfast. I think that was in March, Aditya, early March. We couldn't see this coming. We were completely blindsided. Although things like this was happening in other parts of the world, most of us didn't think it will be such a big thing in India that will shut down. And my father is been in business for more than 50 years. He's never seen anything like this, let alone us. Now the impact is so broad-based that I think it's good to see what aspects of the impact should we look at in bite-sized pieces and then put it together. As Aditya first said, that there's supply chain issues. Now, when you are consuming FMCG products or any product, today the impact of globalization on FMCG product is higher than impact on globalization on anything else. Whether it is agriculture, it is much easier to buy rice, wheat, pulses, palm oil from another country than buy healthcare, education, building material, and those kind of things. It's much easier to import and export commodities because everybody knows what those commodities are like. You don't have to have an after-sale service, nor do you need branding when you sell it as a commodity level. So that has been the supply chain. Think of a soap, a packet of tea, a pickle in your food. Each of these have complicated supply chains. And even if one of those things are impacted, the whole product doesn't come together. So depending on the segment, some of those have been, completely restricted. For example, I know, textile units, which require thousands of people inside the factory. There was no permission to start work. In some cases, like our tea estates, we were allowed to start with 25% in West Bengal and 50% of workforce in Assam. But even after you've been able to make the product, taking an example of tea, you are unable to auction it, unable to get transport to move it to the destination. So supply chain has been severely impacted. Whether it is 5% or 100%, that depends on the industry. The second is in the demand impact. Aditya was speaking about short-term and long-term impacts. Like, for example, globally, there are some products. For example, we are doing this conference on Zoom, downloading movies, listening to music, some products where the demand has increased by more than 100%. Online groceries, going and picking up, those are aspects where demand has significantly increased. On the other end of the spectrum, sunblock creams, cruisers. I was looking at an analysis of automotive. In the entire month of April, not even one car sold. Where 3 million cars used to sell a year. So there's been significant impacts on demand and supply. And depending on where the shock is more, will determine how the industry will come out of this situation. So the relative impact, the supply chain issues and how COVID-19 impacts demand will determine the relative strengths of each of those shocks. And it is particularly challenging in sectors such as apparel, where the problem is both of demand and supply. And there would be products within FMCG where you will have both demand and supply shocks. That there is neither an easy way to supply the product and it's more expensive. And the customers don't think it is a high priority item to buy. So those items, like Aditya was talking about, feel-good products. Now, if it's an imported feel-good product, which is difficult to get, and that imported feel-good product has constituents which also require, maybe the packaging comes from China and some of the material comes from some other country. So there'll be both a supply shock and demand shock. So each of us in our own respective businesses have to understand, we will obviously all try to, move on. What will be the parts of the business where we feel there'll be a demand problem, there'll be a supply problem, there'll be both at different segments. Now, in some cases, you might have a demand and supply shock, but the recovery might be V-shaped. For example, in a feel-good product, you might say that it is not, the demand is less because we are at home, but when it comes back, it will come back in full throttle. So while the demand is zero, it might go back to, high levels once it's come back. In some sectors, it might be kind of good now, like online delivery of goods, you are okay to not care about the brand, but you might see demand tapering off. For example, in home furnishings, we are seeing a lot of online home furnishings customers buying furniture, carpets, they're doing well because a lot of people in US online stores are still operating. And many people are buying home office equipment so that they can sit down and work at home. They're buying chairs that they didn't have at home. The kind of chairs they can sit for long, not just something that looks nice. They're buying products because they're spending a lot more time at home. And they're buying it from online stores because their preferred offline store is shut. But you might see that supply of those online stores might come down as things are opening up. So we'll have to look at all of that. In the tea industry, specifically, demand and supply have both been hit, but supply has been hit more than demand. Tea is something that you hopefully are consuming even now at home. But there's some kinds of tea. For example, people here who are in the industry will know that there's a dust grade in tea, which is consumed more in restaurants, especially not in fancy restaurants, in dhabas and roadside restaurants, etc. The demand of that is not as high because people are not going out. for leaf grade teas that you would drink at home, the demand is higher and you might be running low on stock. In fact, in England, some of my customers, actually 3 of my customers in England, and all three are very large customers, had the highest ever month of tea sales in the long British history of selling tea in the month of April. And this is when everything else was going through the doldrums. There was a report yesterday in Financial Times that the economic collapse in UK has been the worst in centuries. So, but the demand has also been hit in different aspects. Supply has been hit more, which creates its own challenge. And in that, I think the point that Aditya was mentioning was very relevant, that at this time, the brands that are available to you might become homestays, might be one you like and you continue consuming. So for a company who's selling the product, it might be difficult to put the product into the system. It might be expensive. Payment might be delayed. Cash flow might be challenged. But if you move out of the market and someone else comes into the market, this is something that might continue. I can say as a personal consumer, some of the things that I've started consuming during the lockdown, the chocolates I have bought for the children and myself have been having, these are brands that are different because these were all ordered online, but I like them and I'll continue them. And in those, when you have a shock, you don't just get back from the shock and do the same things that you did before the shock. One of the things I saw in the home furnishings industry is the consumption pattern, the design pattern, the innovation pattern before 2008 financial crisis, which was very big in the West, and after was totally different. And in that, to ensure that our design and product development and all those things are still going on, we are doing that online. We are sending presentations online where presentations would be face-to-face. We will not do face-to-face presentations for the rest of the year, I don't think. Even if we travel within Calcutta, within the country, I don't think we will be traveling and they will be coming and we will be going into a huge place with 100 people. That I don't think will happen. So that one has to innovate significantly to ensure that those customers' needs are met, because customers are buying. They want new products. They want innovation. And in that might be some kind of an opportunity within the otherwise depressing period, where we started by talking about how it is much easier to sell and globalize goods, whether it is rice or vegetables or potatoes or palm oil. But through this exercise, we are globalizing services. You've been having so many webinars with people around the world where you couldn't do it. This is, if I need advice from you, irrespective of what the fees are, I can actually call you on Zoom. Without saying that, can I, meet you and then, wait 1 hour, in the traffic, and then, while I'm doing another meeting, just call on, those kind of things. And when you can do it on Zoom, why do it only in Calcutta? You'll reach your best clients around the world. If you are going to not go to a gym and do physical training in Zoom, why does your trainer need to be in Calcutta? So that will change some aspects of the different industries and services in a way that has never happened. Before the event started, we said that, we could have done meetings in Zoom, but we did not. Aditya and I, during our days of Indian Chamber, have sat outside ministers' offices for hours, waiting for a 10-minute meeting. Today, during this last 2 months, we had, not Zoom because that's considered unsafe, but many other Microsoft Teams and other meetings where ministers are communicating. And you just have to be there during the few minutes that he's speaking and, make your points, and that is done, and things are moving at a different speed. So these are significant opportunities. Also for domestic brands, I think the fact is people are cutting down advertising because that is, probably they feel they cannot afford. But those brands who are strong, domestic brands who are strong because imports are difficult, and brands who will make sure that their presence are felt, they should benefit. I think in 2 years, you will hear of a lot of new FMCG brands who've done well during this period. And over the medium term, consumption pattern will definitely change, whether it is about eating at home, whether it is about what is safe. Our standard of safety has completely changed, and we will not ever forget it as long as we live. What we could do before, and we said, "Kya hoga?" That is going to completely change. And also believing and trust, whether there's proven efficacy or just branding, that will change. We had world leaders telling us that, you can inject Dettol and you'll be better. You are listening to scientists, not people who are just saying whatever, because this is about your life. It's not about your opinion. You can say, I disagree with you, that's okay. But you can't do something that will kill you. We will have to be very careful about what we are doing. So in that sense, there are opportunities, but clearly the threats are bigger than the opportunities. Ultimately, taking everybody on is not going to sustain. Unfortunately, for thousands of years, business hasn't run like that. Right now, we might be feeling like that. But ek cheez to hoga hi, that the economic size will contract across the world. If 1 month something is shut, that's 8.5%. This has been shut in an uncoordinated way for 1 month or 2 months in different parts of the world, and it's opening at different levels. And that also operating at 50%, 25%. So economy will shrink. And as Aditya said, consumption will shrink. So suppose your consumption was 0.9 of the economy, and economy was 100. The economy shrinks to 95. When your consumption goes from 0.9 to 0.8, that's like 25% drop in consumption. Now, if there's a 25% drop in consumption, all companies cannot sustain. And within this, I think with unorganized companies finding it more difficult, there's going to be two kinds of unorganized companies. The Kirana store who will do well because he's on the last mile, but the unorganized producer is not doing well. The Kirana store is still selling big brands because the big brand has been able to reach the product to the Kirana store. The small unorganized producer is not being able to reach the good from Gujarat to Bengal. So there's going to be organized companies, organized manufacturers, and last mile fragmentation, whether you go and pick it up or whether you buy it from a Kirana store, that will ensure that there'll be higher concentration of those who survive and some who do not survive. So it is very important that in this period, even if the fittest don't survive, we have to be nimble, and we'll have to be humble. From Aditya, I know he's very nimble and he's very humble. And there are lots of new lessons that we can take from him, and he's an expert on FMCG. But I just wanted to say, from my perspective of selling to FMCG and sometimes buying from FMCG, since I was honored enough to be invited to speak here, I just wanted to share a couple of my insights. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Banjaraji.
Thank you, Rudro. Before we can go to the others for questions, let me get your thoughts. You are into tea and you are one of the largest producers of tea in the world, right? Lakshmi Group. India is a net exporter of tea, if I'm not wrong, and so is China. So now with these anti-China sentiments prevailing in the world, at least as of now, do you see India to be selling more in the world at the cost of Chinese tea, and thereby tea industries will be at an advantage in the near future? What is your view?
So that is a very good question. The production of India is around 1.3, 1.4 billion kgs. And China is around the same. And Africa is now producing around 500 million kgs. Now, the tea that is produced in Africa is more the kind of tea that we produce, the black CTC tea. And Chinese teas are bought by people who are drinking Chinese type of tea, quite different from the Indian or European kind of teas. That so you can go and comfortably drink tea in England, buy the tea from a shop and make the tea the way you want it. But you won't comfortably drink tea in China because it's a totally different product. It will be green tea, it will be white tea, oolong tea, not the kind of tea that we are used to. So I don't think we will take a huge advantage from China, but I think we can significantly take an advantage because of the fact that tea is one of those products whose consumption, it is like Aditya was talking about, good for you or feels good. Tea is certainly something that is good for you. And we have to promote the health aspects of tea. And it is something that the tea industry has to really fight hard because we've had many years of difficulty. And at this point, with the shutdown, there was few months of spending huge expenses without any revenue. So it is definitely very important that whether it is in India or outside India, tea is promoted as a healthy beverage produced in India. And it is also, I think, in that context, Jineshji, I also feel that we have lost out to brand Indian tea as a global product. We should have Indian tea being sold as Indian tea instead of being sold as some British brand or an European brand who's just buying all the tea from India. And that is where FMCG, connecting it to FMCG, has a big role to play, where we have to move those products where we are strong producers to ensuring that we also are branding it as our product, maybe having different formats of selling, whether it's online or offline. And with the breakdown in some of the formats, with the supply chain becoming an issue, where sourcing the product, including tea, will become an issue, there might be an opportunity for companies in FMCG to start branding and producing and exporting tea out of India. Because it is going to be very difficult for most people who've been used, in the past, people were very comfortable ki aapko chai chahiye to koi problem nahi, last moment you order it, you'll get it. Just like Aditya was talking about making cereals in color TV. They would they'll order the tea 15 days just in time and they'll get it. But now with the breakdown in the production and the breakdown in the supply, there is going to be a lot of areas where they're underserved. And FMCG companies can actually take the advantage and thus take Indian tea, and I'm sure many other Indian products, down the value chain and get a bigger chunk of the business than just be a raw material producer.
Thank you, Rudro. Aditya Bhai, Aditji, Rudro has given you a good idea of branding the tree for this Zoom. देखिए आपके दोस्त ने अभी आपको बताया हमारे ACA के hashtag. So, well, that was while on this issue of anti-China sentiments prevailing throughout the world at the moment. What is your view, Aditya Bhai? Even the various ministries in the government have been collecting views from various quarters, including chambers like yours and ours, of what should be done, to attract these companies who are trying to run away from China. So what we have thought is we need to focus on labor and land laws, and maybe a couple of other. What is your thought on what should we strengthen in India? Because you don't only see China, because now your potential competitors will be, say, East European countries or Vietnam or Thailand or Indonesia, where companies may try to run away. So tax is only one of the angles, but there are many other areas which the foreign investors would like to be certain on before coming to India. Really. What are your thoughts on it, Ajay?
So, as you rightly put, it should not be China only. People can come from anywhere. But I think we have a long way to go. We have done a lot as far as ease of business is concerned, but I think it's a longer way to go. We as businessmen can tell you that it's not too easy. and all of us make things difficult for each other in all different ways. I would not like to comment too much on this because of obvious reasons, but we as a society, as a economy, as a government, or as governance, as a disciplined society, also as individuals, also we have a long way to go.
That's right, Adit Bhai. As you correctly said, we can't speak much, but then that is shown in the ease of doing business throughout the world. We rank 147, I think, in the index, at least a few months ago, if I'm not wrong. So this is all known. So the ease of doing business, there are various factors. So that I think the foreign investor would now look up to, rather than just saying कि China से भाग जाएगा इंडिया में बुला लो, पक्षी तो है नहीं कि उड़ा के यहाँ बैठा दो. Long term trust factor भी शायद missing है. It takes
जमीन तो एक चीज है.
जी.
ऐसी कई कई चीजें हैं जो बिजनेस की कंटिन्यूटी पे एज आई से मैं कंटिन्यूटी पे बार बार जोर दे रहा हूँ कि आपका प्लांट अगर चालू भी हो गया तो उसको चालू रखने के लिए भी इतने रूल्स, इतने रेगुलेशंस, इतने लॉज, इतना डर.
That's right.
Sometimes you wonder.
You are into reality, so is Aditya Bhai. Both of you are into reality as well. One last, quite from the check box. The last thing you tell us, there is going to be a shift from the hospitality industry. I think hotels next year. This real estate also last week, people from KEDA and had joined. So there is slowdown क्या बंद ही हो जाएंगे कई होटल है तो मुझे लगता है. तो but on the space front and just talking, मुझे लगता है कि हॉस्पिटल्स की जरूरत बढ़ेगी. हेल्थ सेक्टर में there is going to be requirement. So do you foresee some hotels getting converted, 5-star hotels into a 5-star hospital maybe? Health sector. एक होटल बन गया हॉस्पिटल ऐसा हो.
I don't see much investment coming up in hospitals. The environment is not very conducive.
Environment, I do agree, Adit bhai, but अब देखिए अभी private sector health जब से खुल गया था, I think late 97 नरसिम्हा राव उसके बाद अभी आप देखिए 20-30 साल हो गया. Throughout the country अभी जो health sector ही सबसे आगे टेंशन में है. तो इस पे हम लोग देखते हैं कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर बहुत पैक में है. पब्लिक सेक्टर में डॉक्टर आ नहीं रहे हैं. प्राइवेट डॉक्टर आजा बुला के दिखा दीजिए, हॉस्पिटल में काम नहीं संभव है. तो ये क्या होगा ये चर्निंग अल्टीमेटली
because the cost aspects of running a hospital is very different than what you all understand. Running a hospital is always difficult, especially opening up a new hospital. As you will be knowing now, not many of us are insured also. So the paying power is low. Our expectations from a hospital is now almost like what we expect from a 5-star hotel. And investments are very high in hospitals. Technology changing every 3 to 4 years, and manpower costs going up. And manpower being very rare there, rarely available. Doctors, nurses, paramedical staff, etc. It's not very easy to get. Considering all these factors, and I don't see much investment as far as hospitals are concerned.
Yeah, Jinesh Bhaiya, we have Rajesh Jain ji. I mean, he wants to speak something, and ask something. Rajesh Bhaiya.
Yeah.
You are unmuted.
Aditi ji, namaskar.
Namaskar ji.
Really a very insightful talk. I was just wondering, 2001, when this 9/11 happened, then people were going through this similar kind of sentiments कि सब काफी negative हो रखे थे. तो लोगों ने जॉर्ज बुश से एक बात बोली थी कि भाई how do we demonstrate our patriotism? Then he told go out and spend. I mean that's the crux of it. कि end point पर जब तक सेल नहीं शुरू होती है तब तक तो सारे एफर्ट बेकार हो जाते हैं. और सेंटिमेंट्स जब कोरोना जितना डीप जाने की बात हो रही है 1.5 साल 2 साल, and how do you see it? How deep do you see it? I mean, if the sentiments don't improve, end point पर अगर माल निकलेगा नहीं, वैक्यूम नहीं क्रिएट होगा.
तो देखिए क्या है कि ये कोई नई चीज नहीं है. जब भी पहले भी डाउन ट्रेंड आया है, देयर आर सर्टेन सेक्टर्स व्हिच गेन, लाइक स्टेपल्स, फूड प्रोडक्ट्स, हेल्थ प्रोडक्ट्स. education. These are some sectors which will gain out of it. बट उसमें भी वही कंपनियां अच्छी कर पाएंगी जो इस समय सही बिहेव कर रही है। सही बिहेव से मेरा मतलब है, आज मुझे मौका मिला है इसीलिए मैं अपने प्राइसेस बढ़ा लूँ, प्रीमियम कर लूँ और अपने वेंडर्स को भी मैं दबा लूँ, ये सब नहीं होना चाहिए। यू शुड एक्ट रिस्पॉन्सिबली विद द सोसाइटी एंड नॉट टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ द सिचुएशन। और साथ में कम्युनिकेशन जारी रखना चाहिए। कम्युनिकेशन वेदर इट इज़ with your consumer, with your trade, with your contractors, with your vendors, any partner. This communication will ultimately help you in being the preferred partner after lockdown or after COVID, because things will not remain the same for you, as good or as bad for anyone in the long term. So अपने को एक दूसरे की जरूरत फिर से पड़ेगी, इस बात को अगर हम समझते हैं तो उसी तरह से हमें बिहेव करना चाहिए।
ओके, थैंक यू।
और मैं बोलना चाहूँगा जैसे कि FMCG से नहीं है, बट द इनसाइट्स व्हिच ही हैड पुट ऑन द टेबल, it's phenomenal, and I can tell you it is all because of his habit of reading and being so curious and observant. So Rudra, thank you for many such insights which you have given me in this last 15 minutes of your talk.
No, not at all, Aditya.
Jitu,
Yeah.
I just to add to what
Aditya.
Aditya was saying, I'll just share a story about helping people during these times and how it will be countered. And when you remember in 2008, seems like a lifetime ago, but 2008, the biggest bank that collapsed was Lehman Brothers. And before that, about 10 years before that, there was a company called Long Term Capital Management, which was collapsing. And I had just finished my studies, and I was working in a management consulting firm in US at that time. And when Long Term Capital Management had collapsed, Bill Clinton was president, and he said that the government is not going to pay to bail out a bank or a hedge fund. So he said that every other large financial company should pool in and save long-term capital management. And that's what happened. Every company did. Only company who didn't participate was Lehman Brothers. And when Lehman Brothers went to ask for help, everybody reminded Lehman Brothers of that. When people were collapsing, you were the only bank not to have extend your arm. And they actually probably would have, because, these kind of failures are all touch and go. On one evening, if you had found a buyer interested, it probably would have extended it a little longer. And the state would have probably come in, and the market would have risen by a few points. But wo hua nahi. So I completely agree with the spirit and there's a lot of depth in what you just said, and that is exactly the spirit that it's impossible to teach people how to do that. If people do that, then it's good.
Yeah, Jinesh Bhaiya, we have one question in the chat box from Kamal Kejriwal. Aditya ji, as you said, that the business and industry should not hurry to open up, and they should wait for some time actually before they could start. So he has a question that whether in this time after reopening, he should rather purchase the raw material so that he could buy it in a lesser price and stock it for the future production.
I will have my doubts if raw material will be cheaply available now.
And also, if it is available cheaply, just to say one thing, a few days ago when oil prices had gone down to 20, a lot of people, we read in the newspaper, a lot of people had stocked up. And then it went down to even further. So it's very difficult to time the market.
And it depends product to product.
और आप जो raw material अभी खरीदेंगे, उसका finished material बिकेगा कि नहीं, कोई ठीक नहीं है. तो और अगर आपके पास इतना कैश फ्लो है अभी आज के टाइम पे, तब वो भी एक बहुत बड़ी बात है.
One question I have to Mr. Rudro. You see, I mean, Mr. Rudro is in a, labor-intensive industry, the tea industry, the most, the company, the industry which is employing labor across. So, seeing this migration of the labor, is it affected by in the tea industry also? And how you are controlling this labor, labor post or reopening of your tea state, maintaining the social distance and making the payments and also. Can you tell us more about this and how this labor issue could be taken?
So, migration, I'll use an example from the home furnishings industry to talk about migration, but all the others questions apply to the tea industry. Before we opened with 50% strength, we saw how we can do that with social distancing. District magistrate and their teams came and saw how that is being done. Everybody is working, wearing masks inside the factory. Nowadays, most CTC factories are called online factories, where for one line you don't need more than 1 or 2 people. And it is very different from the mindset we used to have, where we felt that having as many people in the field is good for us, it's good for society. Now it is the opposite. Have as few people as you can. And but that is something that is certainly being done very well across the industry, not just in Lakshmi Tea, but across the industry. In terms of payment, we are maintaining social distancing. We've also, in some cases, have just transferred the payment to the bank accounts, and some tea estates have got ATMs. We are asking the government, and the government has assured us that every tea estate will have ATM, and it will become easier when that happens. In terms of migrants, it is a bigger issue in home textiles in UP, where a lot of the people have moved out of UP and gone to Bihar and Orissa. And now when the production, in some cases it is not a problem, or it is a bigger problem because there's no production demand. But in home textiles, many countries are opening up at different rates. So the challenge is, we all went into lockdown together, 1 week, 2 weeks here and there, but we are all going to open up and our consumption is going to grow at completely different rates. So you might lose an order because you are unable to supply and someone else comes in. And that is going to be an issue with the migrant labor. So it is very important that that is looked at. And in that context, I think your question on labor laws, the fact that labor laws have been relaxed at this time, I think for labor intensive industries where workers are not there, migrants have gone away, to have to increase people from local areas is very important. But now today's labor law doesn't allow me to increase them without giving them lifetime employment. So it is very important that for temporarily I'm able to increase people. So I must say that the governments of UP, and I think Madhya Pradesh has also done this, but UP has done announcing that yesterday or day before yesterday. And I hope that it will be followed up and we will be able to increase the number of workers and make the products. Because you are talking about anti-China sentiment. See, anti-China sentiment can only go on if India can supply. You can't say that I have a demand, but I don't like China, so I tell the customer, go back, don't buy, because I will not source it from China. Wo to nahi hoga. So unless we are able to supply, we cannot take any advantage of. Firstly, I don't think in business people really have any sentiment against or for one country. If you can make a margin, you will do the business. These are more political comments, where whether you feel pro or anti-China, many of the but even more, if there was some issue, maybe there'll be some tariffs on China, and because of that, business people will not buy from China. Maybe there'll be increased tariffs, at least before the US presidential election. Is very likely tariffs will increase. But if India is unable to supply, वो तो एक ही चीज हुआ था with furniture. There was 25% tariff, but the entire business went to Vietnam. So we'll have to make sure that we are very quick, flexible, nimble, take advantage, and that will be, a positive for our manufacturing industry. Even before going into this situation, manufacturing in these industries, high manufacturing industries, the employment rates were not going up. So I think this can, hopefully help us drop the regulation and improve some, manufacturing.
Jitu, let me pose this to Rudra. Taking a cue from what you said, Rudra, very nicely on this migration of labor. And last week we also had a talk with this KEDAI people on Zoom. There also a senior person from KEDAI commented on this migration. So on this migration, he said that Bengal, there is a net inflow of people. So he was trying to explain that some states will have a net outflow and some states will have a net inflow. So he said Bengal vis-a-vis other states, we are net advantage. That was his comment. And today again, you talk of this migration. What I feel is, I want to know your views, and maybe after that, Adit can pitch in. अभी क्या है जैसे 5 करोड़ 10 करोड़ 15 करोड़, I don't know the exact number of people, X state का आदमी Y में काम कर रहा है, Y का X में कर रहा है. So net impact क्या होता है रुद्रो? See, if I am working at X rupees a month in my own state, if I am forced to go to another state, senior executive भी है, तो X plus 20 में काम करता है. So totality macro में अगर आप देखें, if this really settles down in a year or two, जो जहाँ है वहीं पे काम उनको मिलता है, तो total labor cost industry में घट जाएगा. And will that come into an advantageous position if you think at it from macro country point of view? What is your, or should we take an advantage like this, or will it happen, or these are only just fanciful ideas on the table, never going to happen?
See, I think there is, when you have a net inflow of workers during this post, because of this migration period, it means that there were more workers of Bengal working outside Bengal. So at that time, there was an outflow of workers, but probably an inflow of remittance sending to other family members. If you look at Kerala, there's been a net international inflow of workers. But I think Kerala will, despite having done the best job in the country, they will probably be hit hard after coronavirus because the inflow of remittance will reduce. And that is going to be true for internal states also, if you are moving from one state to another. Also, I think in general, obviously there's a demand of a job at a higher wage to encourage someone to move from one state to another state. Now, if that job is not filled, there are only two things that will happen. One is that industry will not work as well, or it will be mechanized. So that job will then, it's not that, if they will agree to take a person from their own state, pay them a higher wage, and earn a lower income out of that context. So I think it's going to be challenging if migration stops. Not that much for industry. I think there's going to be a lot of mechanization opportunities for industry, but for employment, I think, and from employment, that will probably have a bigger effect on FMCG. I've been from the last 20 years going to small villages in UP and seeing production, and in parts of Rajasthan and seeing, manufacturing of furniture and production of carpets. And I've seen the change. 20 years ago, it was water and gur that was served to me when I used to go there. Then it became tea and biscuits. And then it became Coke and cashews. So that is the improvement of standard of living that happens over time. And that is something that, that is what builds the FMCG industry. A lot of the biggest brands in the country are, brands like Parle-G and others. They depend on the demand of the rural areas, many of them migrants, many of them, spending a big amount of their money on these products. So I think strong rural consumption, allowing migration, getting the best jobs that these people can get will bring employment. and the demand in the segments where these people, consume. And without that, I do not know what other jobs will be. Already, I think many states from where people are moving out, there's an employment issue. So if they have more people to give jobs to, it might actually become a social issue, not just a commercial issue. So I'm quite worried about that aspect. So it's, I hope migration returns in some form. It may not happen in the next couple of months, but it should happen, over time.
So Vanjara sir, this actually depends upon the economic condition of a state, or the businesses happening or production happening in that state. So many states in India, so people have gotten used to not to work as laborers. You will see such things in Punjab, uh, in Tamil Nadu. So because or maybe a few more, because the labor they have money, so they did not want to work as laborers. And most of this labor outflux has happened from eastern part of the country, from Bengal, from Bihar, Odisha, uh, and even from East UP to West UP. So it is a worry, and I completely agree with Rudro that we hope that it does not happen, that the migration does not happen as strongly as it seems it may happen. And even if it happens, it should correct soon.
That's right. Let us all hope for the best. Jitu, we have further chat.
No. I think we can conclude finally. With anyone, if you can raise your hand, we can maybe unmute some maybe one or two people over here. Or
So 90, yeah.
okay.
Okay. So I think कोई नहीं हो जीतू तो 90 minutes दोनों speakers हम लोग ने ले लिया है. That was a comic time. तो आदित्य जी फिर next time और बोलेंगे कि no यहाँ से
तो सर अभी जाके खाना भी बनाना है.
आदित्य भाई
आदित्य जी ये सबसे बढ़िया बात बोली. हम लोग को लगता था खाली हम ही लोग बनाते हैं. चलिए अब हम लोग
नहीं उनकी वाइफ को मैं अच्छी तरह जानता हूँ. So well, thank you Aditya and thank you Rudra for being with us today, spending your time. Jitu, can you give a formal vote of thanks, Jitu?
Yes. Thank you Aditya ji. Thank you Rudra ji. Before I ask our secretary Vivek to offer a final formal vote of thanks, I would like to mention one thing which Aditya ji said. It's really touched my heart, that it's now the time to survival of all. When you see, we every time we have been from our childhood, we have studied that this world is about survival of the fittest. But very nicely said, survival of the all. Yes, we should all believe that this pandemic could be over only when we think of survival of all. And Rudro sir, you also said that service industry will definitely go for a big change, and feel good product will come in full flow and full form when this pandemic is over, because you see, when we love this feel good product too much, then more than our necessity. So with this note, I would request Vivek to kindly offer a formal vote of thanks to our guest speaker for this session. Vivek, over to you.
Thank you, President. Respected Sri Aditya Agarwal ji and Sri Rudra Chatterjee ji, our most valued invited guests and all the delegates who have joined the Zoom meeting, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, Vivek Agarwal, the General Secretary of ACA, on my behalf and on the behalf of the ACA, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to both of you from bottom of our heart. The world is hit by COVID-19 pandemic, and we actually don't know when will it end. We are thankful to both the speakers for sharing their thoughts, insight, and practical experience on changing business plan post-COVID. It's not about survival of the fittest, but survival of all. Aditya ji has also told us we should not hurry, but we should not be in a hurry to start. We should have a plan how to open up and do good products and feel good products insights. Positivity by both of you will give us fresh energy to rethink and reset our lives. And thank you once again. Back to the President.
Thank you all the participants for joining. Thank you to all the speakers once again. Banjara ji, we may, I think we can end this session.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rudra. See you soon.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Take care.